Hey guys, what's up? It's Kevin here. I am at home. About to get ready to go to bed. I am very tired. And I was not anticipating on being live this soon. But ever since I did that live stream and did that research about the uh, giving power over to this from the power of education, Department of Education from the federal level over to the state level and taking my time to question about, you know, the whole election thing, the whole election process. I have been completely baffled by everything. And it really makes me wonder, like, did we really truly have an election? Like, I mean, like, I know we had an election, but like, was there really any true sense of competitiveness? Like throughout the entire election, things have just been kind of weird. Everything about this election just seemed very off. Hey, Luana, good evening to you. And please forgive me if I do sound befuddled for a second. Like I said, I'm very tired. I had a very long day. Um, and so I'm trying my best to get my thoughts together while trying to manage through the sleep. But the bottom line is, I was trying to type things out on the post, and then I had to figure out like, why do that when I could just simply voice my opinions here. Um, I'm starting to have second thoughts about and having more questions exactly about this election, because in all honesty, it's um it's very strange how the whole election thing went, and it's ever since that live stream where we went on ChatGPT earlier today and me just simply having questions about the whole legitimacy of how everything went throughout the campaign, particularly when it came to Kamala Harris and her refusing to answer questions during interviews, her um, totally disregarding the Democratic base. In fact, the entire party completely disregarded their whole base. And like it made me wonder, like everything like Kia Ipris Kia said, like everything was just too easy. Like no fight, no competition. Like it's like it would have been so easy just from the questions that I gave on the chat GPT, which if you have not seen that that live stream, the live stream that I did was I have questions regarding the election 2024 aftermath. I was talking with Empress Kia earlier today on a post, and she was talking about the concerns that she was having about the education being the power of education being given over to the states and localities because she has a child that is dependent upon IEP and 504. And just from the questions that I was asking from ChatGPT, it's like I had to ask myself the question like, did Kamala Harris ever challenge any of these things that was a concern regarding the Department of Education? Even when it comes to like women's rights, beyond just simply the abortion, because people just simply think about reproductive rights in terms of just what is accessible for women. But women's rights is more than just simply reproductive rights, and reproductive rights is a whole lot broader than just simply, abortion and IVF. Like there's maternal care in general. Like you have women that have died, even with the whole situation with the abortion, you still have people who die from childbirth. You have malpractice that occurs when it comes to pregnancies and things like that. Like, why wasn't any of that discussed? The whole situation when it came to defining womanhood and what she believed womanhood to be, because we know from Ketanji Brown hearing that occurred years ago, um, people have a hard time giving a definition of womanhood. So what would have really been her stance about what womanhood is, and how was she going to be able to protect the definition of that? I really take my time to think about it. There are so many things that could have been done, even when it came to the idea of the economy and things like that. Granted, I don't know how much she would have been able to really say about that because had a hand in a lot of stuff that is involved with the economy now for the past three almost 4 years now. But there were just so many things that could have been easily fought, or just to have um a sense of an opposition. And it's like everything was just about her not being Trump and The fact that she was middle class, despite the fact that she's wearing like thousands, tens of thousands of dollars worth of accessories on her ears and on her neck. Um, and then you have the Obamas, like all this different help that comes in everywhere, and yet there is nothing that specifically either shows her stance on things or how she plans to even oppose Donald Trump with some of the things that he has said. It was like everything was just too easy. And it just really made me wonder, did we truly have an election, or were we really a part of a ritual of somebody being installed into the position of presidency anyway? You know, we participated in somehow. It just like, I feel like, especially now in the aftermath of this election, I think we left out of here a lot more divided than we were in the past. Um, and for I'm even questioning what was the whole purpose? What's the whole purpose of everything that we had just witnessed? I, the whole thing was odd, and it's made me ask them. It's been really making me reconsider. It's making me reconsider everything because it's just like it was so odd. It was so off. Nothing, because like nothing made sense. Um, even with the assassination attempts and stuff, the unaliving attempts, I should say. Um, it's it's been weird. It's been very, very strange. Like it like not even like not a strong stance against anything, not a strong counter stance on anything. She did not compete at all. And um it's like, why was she there? Like especially because of 2020, with the last elections, and the fact that she wasn't really competing much then. She had the lowest approval rating out of everybody. Why on earth would the Democratic Party go to her um as the choice for the candidate for the presidency? Why would they go to her? Why would they want to pick her as somebody who just couldn't stand out from the last year, from the last election back in 2019, 2020? It's so off, it's so off-putting. It's just I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense how there was a true lack of, even when it comes to the standpoint of um with the wars, especially with the war with Israel and Palestine. Like it's almost kind of like everything was made easier for him to win. And I find myself wondering if it's because they know they have messed up with the whole thing with immigration, with the whole migration crisis, with things that had occurred with the war, with all this money that has been spent, to the point where we are really looking at a serious struggle with the economy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I have questions. I have more questions now after this election than I did during this election. Strange. You said it's been quiet. Yeah, it's been real quiet. It's been real quiet. And even the whole thing with Kamala's concession speech was odd too. Saying that she was still fight. Like if you're going to concede, you're conceding to give up the fight. Why then are you saying that you're still going to continue to fight? That doesn't make any sense. Like there's a number of stuff about this election, particularly surrounding Kamala, and how she allowed herself to be portrayed. At this point, this woman is a walking meme. She's a walking parody. People make fun of her just by the mere fact that she laughs. People make fun of her just by often she talks about she's a part of the middle class. Like people can post together a compilation of clips to show how much she has repeated the same lines again and again and again and again. And yet this was somebody who was chosen to be the Democratic representation, to compete against Donald Trump for presidency. Weird. It's weird. And I don't know if I'm not the first person that has said this. I don't know. I don't hear enough people saying it or even question it, because everybody has kind of like turned on one another. because they've been so deeply invested into this election. No, they some people have turned against their whole families. They've broken up with relationships and stuff like that. You got people who are breaking up with people that they know for people who don't even know that they exist, all for the sake of an election that could have very well been really a farce and really more of a setup, really. Like the whole thing's weird. It's just weird. And that's why I said that, and that's why I said, like in the last live, just be mindful. Everything is not always what it seems. Uh e- Everything that may seem as if it's if that is real, I don't it may not always be. So I just wanted to share my thoughts on that. I don't know if there's anybody else that got that just that has been thinking that. I cannot help but think that since since I did that last live stream, in the before that, I really did believe that this was like the state of the election, just like everybody else did. No, but now it's to me it's just off. It's odd. Um, I actually feel more confused now that everything has died down, and um I'm a lot more sober now. I'm a lot more sober minded because I don't have my energy into everything that's happened with this election anymore. Um I'm left now more confused than I was before. It's the whole thing's bizarre. It doesn't make any sense. What occurred throughout this election, particularly within, I would say, this year, because I know that Biden had said that he was planning to step down and that he wanted to keep going. Now, probably I don't know if that's due to the dementia or what, but he said he was going to keep going, and then he was forced to step down. And then Kamala came in, and then it's like throughout the entire time Kamala came in, that it's just like what was like what type of candidate did we have? Like we had possibly the most unserious candidate throughout the history of the United States. I'm actually willing to go that far. I truly believe we had the most unserious presidential candidate in the history of the United States, and it makes me wonder. Um, just so overly belligerent when it came to interviews, always sticking to the script, always having these lines that these talking points that she repeated and regurgitated again and again, even with her concession speech. Um, and then when she's actually pressed to ask questions, she can't respond. She can't she can't give a straight answer towards anything. And now and at first at the time I was looking at it, it's like this woman is totally bizarre. She's deranged, like she's insane, she's crazy. Like why would she not do it? And now after everything has settled, now that everything has settled, and now we're starting to like ask questions that are of actual relevance now. Like I'm seeing people who are upset at Kamala's defeat. I see them making more logical reasons against what Trump stands for more than the actual presidential candidate. Shoot, Tim Walz was doing better than Kamala when it came to representing stances against Donald Trump. The, there's no love and hate with Donald Trump. I'm just saying, like, there was no competition, there was no opposition. There was just the warnings of Trump. It's almost kind of like, somebody said it too. And I think people they said it and they really catch on, but they were saying that in their attempts to vilify him, they actually garnered more attention for him. It's almost kind of like that reverse psychology strategy. You know what I mean? Like when you make somebody the bad guy, you actually give them more attention than you because that's the end goal. That's the tactic that you're trying to use. That's what I'm seeing. Like all that the attempt to try to try to vilify him and try to make it seem like he is the guy that people should be so concerned and afraid of. First of all, they looked as if they were projecting that themselves, depending on their stances on how they were handling things. Like with the Democratic Party, I saw that on them more than I saw with Trump. But even with that, it's like they made it all about blame Trump. Then because and wanted to vote for Kamala because it's not Trump and Trump this and Trump that and all these worries about Trump, Trump. Um, along with some stuff about reproductive rights and my body, my choice, and all this other things and whatnot. And it's like there was never, it's like it was never intended for there to be a serious stance against Trump and there's a real sense of contending for the seat of presidency. It's just weird. Like really take your time to consider everything that has happened with the election, like everything about the election, particularly with the last 3 months or so, has been just strange. It has been strange. Now, so Kia says, so many questions, not enough answers. What was the actual see that's the thing. And I'm starting to think, and that's I think the actual end game was that I think he was going to be installed there anyway. I honestly feel as if we have been participating in a national theater / ritual. That's what it feels like. Like I really take time to think about it, like that's what I think. That's what I think. Now, if I'm wrong about it, so be it. I'm willing to take my L on that. You guys know me. You guys know I have unpopular opinions about stuff. Which is why I don't like doing trends and things like that when it comes to um things on the social media stuff. But I don't know. This whole thing has been off. As I really take time and really think about it, now that everything has died down, everything about it has been off, and I feel like we got set up. I think all that we see now was intended to happen anyway. And I just feel like we got played. that's just how I feel. I feel like we got played. I do feel like we got played. Um, hey Andrea, good to see you. I almost want to talk to Q. Um, I, I, I'm really like on the verge of like contacting Q and see what she has to say about it, because I'm telling you, like, this whole thing, it ain't sitting right. It's not sitting right. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to vent that. Like I said, I was gonna really put it on a post. I was gonna write it out. I was gonna write out my thoughts. But I felt it would be better to voice it, to give it a voice. Because I don't know if there's any, like I said, I didn't know if there was anybody else who thought the same way. But like, really take your time to take in um, everything that occurred with this election, you all. Um, and particularly specifically between Donald Trump and Kamala, and really ask yourself, was this really intended to be a fight? Because with everything that I see, um, from the whole thing with the wars to the migration, which I don't even know, I don't even think they could really even talk about migration. So we can brush past that, I guess. Maybe even the war. I know she probably couldn't really talk much about the economy, which even with the whole opportunity economy thing, that was kind of odd too. Like, how you gonna make like a one size fits all for everybody, despite the fact that everybody is not in the same predicament when it comes to the economy. Like, that don't even make sense. That's something that's done almost kind of like a socialist communist type of thing. Like, no, people are not asking for that. People are wanting to have money in their pockets. Like, a one size fits all economy wasn't going to solve that. But just the idea, it was like there was never a there was never any true seriousness of a fight for the presidency. Oh, I don't know. So I'm thinking that maybe that's just me. Um, and I know I'm late, so I know that, and I don't have a whole lot. I don't really have a whole lot of people here, but anybody have their thoughts about that? You can feel free to leave that in your comments below. Just wanted to share my thoughts on that. Thank you all for listening and tuning in. I hope that you all continue to enjoy the weekend. And remember, you all, let me, I feel the need, I feel like it's so important to say everything is not what it seems. Um, I feel like we had the appearance of an election, but we didn't really have one because there wasn't really truly a selection to pick from. Like even with people who were trying to vote for Kamala, they were wanting to pick her because they didn't want Donald Trump to be in office. Like either that or because they wanted to have the first woman president for the first time. And I get all that type of stuff to some degree, but why would you want somebody who who wouldn't want to fight for it? Like you don't want to answer any questions. You don't want to talk to anybody. What was the end game? And for me personally, I think that that was done to ensure that it was just kind of dragged on to get Donald Trump to the presidency anyway. So I said the bomb threats were terrible out here. Were there bomb threats when you were voting, Andrea? Were there bomb threats while you were going out to vote? But yeah, that's just I think about it. I've been thinking about it since that last live stream, and I'm encouraging you all to think about it too. Do not let your emotions, with with the whole election turnout get you down. Um, oh, that's where you are too, Kia. Wow. Oh, in Fulton County. Wow. Goodness gracious. Um, don't let the emotions of what happened with the elections get you down. I'm at a point now where I think it's a whole lot more smoke and mirrors than what we may think. Um, and so I want you all to number one, keep yourself safe, especially if you're somebody out there with the bomb threats and stuff. But more importantly, be sober minded. Um, whether or not whether or not the whole situation with the elections, what I'm saying is valid or not, uh, we have what we have now. And so it is very important for you to do what you can to start mapping out what success or what you are going to do to manage, cope, and thrive given the situation that is happening now. Um, I know that things are already picking up quickly when it comes to how things are moving. I know that XRP is um, picking up steam. I know that there are already things happening regarding to the wars, and there's automatically has been a ceasefire. All these things have been happening within 72 hours now. Like there's a lot of things that have been happening very quickly, um, as far as things trying to wrap up with the war, cryptocurrencies, and things like that. And I think that Donald Trump had all his he had all his court deadlines closed. Like he's not. I don't think that they're going to try to arrest him now, right? I don't know. I have to look into that. Um, but be mindful, you all. Be very mindful. I don't think that all this stuff is by happenstance. I think that there is more to the story that meets the eye, that the average person is not taking their time to think about because they're sobering up. Um, okay, no, they're not. So I guess he's still gonna be tried. Okay. But in any case, I think there's more to the story that meets the eye that the average person is not taking the time to recognize because everybody's kind of um recovering from the win, the Donald Trump win. But everything's not what it seems. I'll just leave it at that. Everything's not what it seems. I'm at a point now where I'm just accepting it as such and moving accordingly. Um, I now have new questions regarding this election. I think that we've been had. I think we've been scammed, and I think this was set up to be the case either way. Um, so just be mindful. Whether you believe me or not, whether this is something that's valid or not, keep it in mind. Because with everything that happened with this election, nothing makes sense right now. So I will leave you with that. Thank you very much for tuning in. I will catch you all next time. And I may do another live. So I did say that I was going to do um how do a live stream on how education is going to be affecting red and blue states, and then we'll probably add in other uh differences involving other factors, disadvantage factors like maybe race, sex, and things like that. So we'll probably use that Monday to discuss that. All right. So thank you guys. Catch you next time. Later. Bye bye. I'm going to bed. I'm tired. Oh, by the way, before I go, make sure that you hit the like button. If you have any thoughts, especially if it's somebody that you're just now viewing this, make sure you leave your comments down below, leave your feedback down below. Click the notification bell and make sure to hit the subscribe button so that way you are alerted every time there is a new video. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye bye.